Sarah, last Tuesday, I canceled 3 plans in one day.
3?
3. And it wasn't because I was busy, I just couldn't. I sat on my couch for 2 hours doing absolutely nothing, and then I felt guilty about doing nothing.
So you were tired, but you punish yourself for resting.
Exactly. And the whole time, this one thought kept repeating in my head. I'm so lazy lately.
David, that wasn't laziness.
No?
No, I think that was something else completely. And today we're going to talk about it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to English Loom, your friendly space to practice real English while talking about real life. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David, a man who apparently confused burnout with laziness for the last 2 years of his life.
We're going to fix that misunderstanding today. Before we get into it, one small favor.
One small thing for your finger, one small win for us.
If this episode helps you, tap that like button. And if you're new here, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
And in the comments, just tell us one word. How are you feeling today? Tired, excited, okay, whatever it is.
Even one word is good practice. Your brain has to choose it and write it, and that's already a small English workout.
All right, let's get into today's topic. Why calling yourself lazy might actually be the wrong word for what's really happening.
Let's start here. When people can't get things done, the first word that shows up in their head is usually lazy. I'm just lazy. I need to be more disciplined.
Right, and that word feels almost automatic. But here's the thing. Laziness and burnout can look exactly the same from the outside. Both involve not doing things. Both involve low energy.
But underneath, they're completely different. Laziness usually means you have the energy, but you're choosing not to use it. Burnout means the energy simply isn't there anymore, no matter how much you want it to be.
Vocabulary note. Burnout is a state of complete exhaustion, usually from working too much, caring too much, or carrying pressure for a long time without enough rest.
And that's such an important difference because the solutions are completely opposite. If you're lazy, the answer might be push yourself a little. If you're burnout, pushing yourself is actually the last thing you need.
Which is exactly why so many people make things worse without realizing it. Okay, tell me more about your version of this. What did burnout actually look like for you?
Honestly, for me, it started really quietly. I didn't suddenly collapse or anything dramatic. It was small things first. I stopped replying to messages as quickly. I started skipping my morning walk, which I used to genuinely enjoy. Little pieces of my normal life just slowly disappeared.
And what did you tell yourself was happening?
I told myself I was just being lazy and unmotivated. I actually made myself a strict new schedule to fix it. Wake up earlier, do more, push harder.
Oh no, how did that go?
Terribly. I lasted about 4 days before I felt even worse than before because I wasn't lazy. I was already running on empty and I was trying to add more weight to an already exhausted system.
That makes so much sense. My version was a bit different. Mine came after a really intense few months at work. Deadline after deadline, no real breaks in between. And then, once the busy period finally ended, instead of feeling relieved, I just felt flat, numb almost.
Flat how?
I had free time for the first time in months, and I didn't know what to do with it. I'd sit down to do something I used to love, like reading, and I just couldn't focus. I assumed I'd suddenly become lazy and lost interest in things.
But really?
Really, my mind and body were still recovering from months of running on stress. It wasn't that I stopped caring about things, I just didn't have anything left to care with temporarily.
That's such a clear way to put it. Nothing left to care with. That's very different from not wanting to care at all. So let's dig into why this confusion happens so often. Why do we default to lazy instead of recognizing burnout?
I think the first reason is that our culture treats rest as something you have to earn. If you're not producing, not achieving, not doing, there's this quiet voice saying you don't deserve to stop.
Right. So instead of thinking my body needs rest, we think I'm failing to be productive, which feels like a personal flaw instead of a natural need.
The second reason is that burnout doesn't always look dramatic from the outside. People imagine burnout as someone completely collapsing, but most of the time it looks like slowly doing less, feeling foggy, losing interest in things you used to enjoy.
Vocabulary note here, foggy means your mind feels unclear, slow, or hard to focus, like actual fog is sitting inside your head.
And the third reason, I think, is that admitting burnout can feel scarier than admitting laziness. Saying I'm lazy feels like something you can fix with willpower. Saying I'm burnt out can feel like admitting something is genuinely wrong, which is uncomfortable.
That's such an interesting point. Even though burnout is actually the more honest, less blaming explanation, it can feel harder to say out loud.
Okay, so if pushing harder doesn't work for burnout, what does?
The first thing that helped me was simply renaming what was happening. Instead of I'm lazy, I started saying I'm exhausted, and that's valid. That small change in language changed how I treated myself.
I like that a lot. For me, what helped was lowering the bar temporarily instead of raising it. Instead of forcing myself back into a full schedule, I picked one small thing a day, just one, and let that be enough for a while.
That's such a gentle approach. And I think the third thing is learning to tell the difference in the moment. When you feel resistance to doing something, ask yourself, do I not want to do this, or do I genuinely not have the energy for this right now?
That question alone can completely change how you respond to yourself.
Exactly, because one answer needs motivation, the other one needs rest.
So here's something to think about this week. The next time you catch yourself thinking, I'm so lazy, pause for a second and ask, or am I actually just burnt out?
Notice which one feels more true. You don't have to fix anything today. Just notice it.
That's it for today's episode of English Loom.
In the comments, finish this sentence. Lately, I've been feeling one word or one sentence, whatever feels honest.
And remember, needing rest was never a character flaw.
See you in the next episode.
Take care of yourself. Bye for now.